My best friend to 23. She left her body and hovered above me. I saw no shadow, I looked around, searched every building and home that I found. I saw no shadow, but felt a glow. The warmth inside me, it kept me afloat. It felt like heaven had found my bones and gave me comfort when I feel alone. Now you're gone, I'm alone. I guess it's time to get better. Through the pain, I will go alone. If I fall, break my bones, I will scream even louder. 'Cause I'm not dying alone. I lost my best friend to 23. She left her body and hovered above me. Best friend to 23. I heard the heavens crying above me. They gained an angel, I lost a friend. I felt like dying again and again. I went through hell, stared at death, but I keep fighting with each living breath. I saw no way out from where I stood. Felt like the fire had burned me through. Now you're gone, I'm alone. I guess it's time to get better. Through the pain, I will go alone. If I fall, break my bones, I will scream even louder. 'Cause I'm not dying alone. I lost my best friend. Inside your self-righteous symphony, I would rather let this go than to bring it up again. But
What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the Burly Fishing Podcast. We are live once again on a Thursday night, and we are so pumped to have you here with us. We're excited for tonight because we have a very special guest. This is an episode we've been looking forward to for a while because we reached out a ways back, but unfortunately we got so buried in his Instagram feed that we didn't connect all the way and make this episode happen. So we're so stoked that we got him back. We reconnected. We're making this happen. We got Justin Royal here tonight. Justin, how you doing, man?
What's up, everybody? I'm good, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man, we are pumped to talk to you tonight. We got tons of stuff to talk about. If you guys don't know Justin, then I don't know where you've been. You've been living under a rock or something. This guy's awesome. He fishes out of Texas. He fishes with a lot of cool people. He fishes 6 cents baits a lot. You've probably seen him do some unboxings. I often see, like a YouTube analytics, will say, oh, people who watch your channel also watch this channel. Like Justin pops up all the time on that list. So you guys have probably seen his videos come across your desk. And if you haven't, start watching him. Go check him out. Go subscribe. Follow him on Instagram. He posts a lot of cool stuff. He's on Facebook too. Go check out all that stuff. And you'll learn a lot about him tonight. I think we're going to have a really fun show lined up for you guys. Before we dive into it, you guys know the drill. If you like the show, show us by smashing the like and subscribing to the channel, and also sharing this episode with your fishing friends. It helps to grow the community. We want to see more awesome people in the chat and talk to you guys. So bring your friends in, bring everybody along, bring the whole family. I don't know if you get like a family event, put them all on, put the TV on right there, put us in the living room. We want to talk to everybody in the room right now. Let's make a fun little night of this. All right. And of course, we're going to do a giveaway for you guys tonight. $25 giveaway to monsterbass.com. Good for anything on the site except for the subscriptions. Luckily, they have tons of Burly fishing apparel as well as a lot of tackles. So if you want to buy some stuff, we'll give you $25. You got a chance at the end of the show tonight. So we're going to get to that very soon. And we have Super Chat turned on. If you guys want to help support the show, you can drop us a Super Chat anytime during the show. We appreciate you guys. Not something you have to do by any means, but something that we very much appreciate. Speaking of appreciate, we got new members in the house with Nicole Otto. Welcome to the Burly Bunch Elite. If you guys want to join the membership, we drop bonus content every single month, and we do a members only live. Our next members only live, good for the Shark Deucers and the Snorlax crew, is next Tuesday, June 8th. It's going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern, our normal time. So jump into that if you guys are a part of our membership base. And if you're not, you can join right now via the chat. So feel free to check it out. And I posted a video. It tells you all about it, by the way. So if you want to know more about it, you can just watch that video later. All right, I'm done with my spiel. Let's get to the Justin show here. Shall we, Paul?
All right. Jeff, thank you for the introduction. We're going to move on to what is always my favorite part of the show. It's the Q of the D, the question of the day. This is the question, again, if you're not familiar, everyone gets a chance to answer, but there's no wrong answer. There are answers, though, that are less right. I'll just say that. You can be less right. It's my opinion. That's the only thing that matters in this question. So this one's easy. Top 3 preset radio stations in your truck. So what are the top 3 presets that you have in your vehicle? Justin, what do you got?
I don't even know. I couldn't even answer that question. 3 presets. I just listen to my music library. I have thousands of songs in my library. I just keep it on shuffle, bro.
Okay, so what are probably what kind of music are you like a spot? Do you do it all on your phone?
Yeah, it's all on my phone.
Is it Spotify or is it like Apple are you music. Straight off like your hard drive?
It's all Apple Music.
Ooh, so what is your
hard drive? Like off your? Is it on your Zune?
Yeah, like, is it off like legit your phone?
Zune or your iPod Shuffle?
So the reason I asked that is because I like Spotify because I cannot do like a straight shuffle. Like I know if I get a shuffle, I'm gonna get something that's not a banger, and I'm instantly gonna be like my whole day is like taken down by 10%. So I've got like. The mix that I'm talking about? I have this mix that I've been building for like 5 years, and that is the only mix that gets played. That's probably longer than that. You're probably right. There's well over...
That mix is my playlist.
Oh, all right. I love that. So that's good. All right, so what's...
My library, I guess. Like, that's what
on your library, what are the top 3 genres in your library?
Oh, man, I'm a metalhead, old school metalhead. I listen to everything from country to hip hop, dude. Like I'm just a fan of music. Everything, dude.
I love that answer.
I can't say just one genre or one, and I don't listen to the radio. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's a tough question for me because I couldn't even tell you what my number one preset is in my truck. I never hit those buttons.
I love it. Jeff, what are yours?
Dude, I totally agree with Justin here because I actually hate the radio very much. Because like I'll listen to there's a station here in Grand Rapids area. It's 107.3. It's a country station. It's the 107.3 The Thunder or whatever. And like if I ever like start the truck up and the radio's on, like that's playing. They're like, coming soon, you get 107 minutes of country. I was like, 107 minutes, cool. How many minutes are in there in a day? Like a lot more than that. And then you get 107 minutes of commercials. And I'm like, dude, I hate the radio. And then I had XM. XM is like such a waste of money. And they just hound you. If you try to cancel, they never let you cancel. So like once I got out, I was like, I'm never getting back in ever. Except for like when I lease a new truck and they're like, you get 3 months. I'm like, all right, cool.
You get 20 minutes of free stuff.
I like it's something like I'm like that kind of reminds me of something because I'm not even from here. So when like from up in Dallas, I know the radio stations. Like I've been listening to the same set of stations my whole life. Down here, I couldn't tell you who's what. I don't know anything. So I've only been here a few years. That's another reason why every time I'm on the radio, I have no idea what I'm even trying to find. So it's just not a thing.
Dude, so where I grew up, there was a radio station called 89X. It's a big Detroit station.
Yes.
89X doesn't exist anymore.
Nope.
Because it's now 88.7 and it's a country station. It used to be like, it used to be like punk rock and like metal when I was growing up. And like every kid in my high school listened to it like the whole time I was there. And I just came back like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago when it changed over. I was like, let's flip to 89X while I go visit my mom in Detroit area. Yeah. And I was like, I'm not mad. It's country, cool. But I was like, what the heck happened? Like, was not expecting it.
They pulled the switcheroo on you.
Exactly. I was like, whoa, just blown away.
It's significant because that's a 180. I run Sirius in my truck, and I do because my day job is negotiating with people, and so when XM calls me and they're like, hey, you're gonna get charged like $40 a month or whatever for the same service, I immediately call them and I literally will sit there for 10 minutes with them on speaker and just be like, I'm only gonna pay $5, I'm gonna cancel. And they'll be like, how about $15? I'll be like, how about $5? And they'll be like, okay, how about $10? I'm like, how about $4.99? And then they'll eventually come down, and I'll pay like virtually nothing. And I like it because it's everywhere, it's consistent. But I am definitely getting super worn down because all the country on it is not very good anymore. But it does have some very twangy music that I can get down on. Some old school bluegrass. There's a station on there that's bluegrass, and that one I have been living on for like the last 3 months. And then the hip hop on there is actually pretty good. So my top 3, it's been like bluegrass, hip hop, and then there is a metal station. One of my brother's songs was on there. They played it for like 3 months, and I like lived on that while it was happening because I just got a kick out of that. But other than that, I think I probably only play those 2 stations, or I play a mix on my phone, which is all like, it essentially is like AC/DC, brand hard rock, and then tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of like country, all the way from like the 50s all the way to like the last week. And that's probably all my music. Gotta be. Not as much metal though. The metal has definitely gone down. Used to be like 50%. It's now maybe like, I think it's actually relegated to its own playlist.
You just rolled in the other day and you were like, I was just blaring Chiodos. Shut up.
It's coming back. It comes in waves, man. It really does. I think like TikTok has also like influenced me. Like TikTok has been like, you need to re-experience your high school years. Do more metal. I'm like, oh, okay, I can do that.
But also lots of emo and punk rock.
Tons of it.
So much of it. That's when you were listening to Alkaline Trio.
I got a question for y'all. Do any of y'all play an instrument?
No, I don't. Chaz, what do you play?
Oh, really? That's
pianist?
Cool. Yes. Shout out to the strings, man. I'm a guitar player, so that's cool.
Nice.
But that's actually, you're skipping ahead in the show, but it's something I want to talk to you about. So my brother is in a band. They're called We Came as Romans. He plays bass.
Yeah, I know that band. That's cool. That's your brother?
So, that's my brother, so he's the bassist. Cool. We got a guitar and a bass on the same day, Christmas. And I legit remember I picked up that guitar and I could play like 3 songs in like the first week. And my brother could play like 2 or 3 songs like in the first day. And I just remember being like, yeah, I'm putting this down because I'm gonna get embarrassed in like the next month. Like this will not be for me. he's gonna you can keep this one. This one's for you, my guy. And I put it down. I can play I played saxophone from like 5th grade all the way through high school.
Dude, that's one of my favorite sounds is saxophone.
There's nothing in this world when you hit it right, but it's definitely not sexy. And so it got put down. It got put down. College, it was like that they went in the case and that went away. R.I.P.
Kenny G is not.
Dude, I would love to be able to play the saxophone or the piano, man.
He's got his own brand. He's got his own brand of sexy. I don't think I can pull it off. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think I can pull it off. I love it.
I didn't know we were going back to high school band. I played the trumpet I played the trumpet in middle school, and then I played the drums. Then I transferred to rock band. Remember?
How could I forget? I was a mega nerd though. I was in the jazz band for all 4 years. I did the marching band. I was like the drum major. I mean, like I legit love music. But yeah, once college hit, I went in the case. I started playing sports, and that pretty much took over my whole life. So, R.I.P. to my music career. And then my brother, again, like I said, he picked up the bass, and I was like, okay, I'm out, tapping out. See ya.
Yeah. You're like, wow, you're good. I don't want to be seen as very, very bad.
Exactly. So Justin, can you tell us about? First of all, I think you have like a handful of guitars. Can you tell us like specifically what guitars you have? Because I think you have a couple axes.
Yeah. I got 5 or 6 over there on the rack. Yeah, LTDs. That's my favorite. ESP. That's my go-to. M1000, ALX 600. Those are my best 2 playing guitars I've ever played, and I played like $4,000 Les Pauls. The M1000 is cream of the crop for me. And then PRS makes a great guitar. I got a custom 24, SD custom 24, and I got a Strat, and then I've got a little Harley Benton Hetfield tribute. But yeah, ESPs, man, that's cream of the crop, dude. They're the best metal guitar ever made, in my opinion.
Well, that was the other thing I was gonna say is like when you're like I think I saw a video of you shredding, and I was like, he's actually shredding. This is fantastic. So is that your bread and butter? Is that what you lay down all the time as metal, or do you ever like drift into like something else?
No, yeah. If I'm on guitar, I'm playing some sort of metal or some neoclassical technical lead stuff. I like trying to get outside of my box and push my playing. I played like Metallica rhythm, pentatonic rhythm playing, thrashy metal for years and years and years, and now lately I just don't really get like excited or inspired about much unless it's like something that's pushing me to learn something new. I feel like I've got better in the last 2 years as a guitar player than I did in like the previous 10.
Well, how did you learn? Because I remember
self-taught, dude.
That's so awesome.
Honestly unbelievable, because guitar is one of those things, like it was always for me, like after learning on another instrument, guitar, like figuring out how to make a sound that was like cool or even normal or something that made sense in my head, like was very difficult, because like strumming is totally different from playing like a wind instrument. Not even like mentally, it's just not the same, because I'm thinking about once you get the air pressure down, just like you're strumming, like you're good. Like now you can start doing stuff, like you can start playing notes and like making rhythms and doing all that, and you can focus on that. I never got like the strumming to the point where I was like, I'm doing this consistently and it's making like a consistent sound, and so it never made sense in my head. How did you just like Google Notes, or did you like use YouTube, or were you just like screwing around? Like how'd you get it?
I'm pre-Google. I'm born in the 80s, raised in the 90s. I'm pre-Google, pre-internet. When I was learning guitar.
How old are you? Sorry to interrupt. How old are you?
I'm 37.
We're almost the same age. I'm gonna be 34, so I'm right there with you. I remember dial-up very vividly.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So what did you learn?
Dial-up for sure.
You were up on the AOL and you were waiting 37 minutes.
Dude. ICQ, AOL Instant Messenger, dude. I was.
Yeah, buddy.
And I started out in like my first experience with the internet was a Lycos search engine chat room. So, dude, I mean, I'm the back in the day, dude. So, but yeah, man, I forgot how did I learn guitar?
Yeah.
So when I first started, it was you had to either go to a music store and buy a tab book, which was, licensed out and made by somebody else, a lot of times not even right, or have somebody teach you something. I did sort of a combination of both, where I have some buddies show me some stuff. I try to learn some tab, and then eventually the internet came along, and that was when you had your little 3-ring binder, and you done wasted all the ink out of the cartridge to print out every Metallica song, you know, and put it in. And that was how, you know, you learned music back then. But now they've got Guitar Pro, you know, programs that they tab it out on the screen, and you can slow it down, and it's much easier to learn. You have so many more resources nowadays, and that's probably helped me improve. But
I was going to ask, like, how
started was, dude, nothing, none of that, no Google, nothing.
I did exactly that for drums. Like I did I had the license book by Lars, like that was just like his drum tabs, and it was not right. It was not right, and I was like, "What am I doing?"
You don't need tabs to play drums. Just boom tap, bro. Every song. Boom tap.
So how do you?
I was gonna ask you too. Like, do you? Yeah, exactly. That's all he does. Just have you like collaborated with anybody? Because you always see it, like we see it on TikTok a lot. Like you'll see, you know, some guy playing guitar, some other guy playing drums, like all together.
No, as far as like music, I've been in a bunch of
jam
bands.
Sesh.
I focused a lot of my time on making music in the past, but here lately, I spend so much time doing what I do, fishing.
Yeah.
I don't have time.
For sure.
Like by the time I get done doing the YouTube thing, Instagram, Facebook, I don't have time to collaborate on a little guitar vid with Carl. I mean,
come on, bro. It's what the people want.
They don't care. I've got a personal account where I like post guitar clips. I've got like 200 followers. Nobody cares. It's fishing. They're all about the fishing.
That's 200 more than what I have for playing guitar. So you're still. It's not that nobody cares. So it's interesting you say that, because that's something I'm always really interested to hear. Sort of like how people are doing what they're doing. I think like when I watch your YouTube channel, same when I watch Jeff's, I get really inspired by how pumped up you get about grinding, right? And you kind of have this like really awesome vibe about like staying positive, always getting after it, and trying to do great things, right? I love that about your channel.
Thank you.
But how in the heck are you finding time to like play guitar? I mean, what's your do you have a day job, or is like fishing your day job?
Oh no, I do what I do full time. I fish for a living. Yeah.
Awesome, man.
But no, as far as the guitar goes, I don't get to practice ever. I occasionally get to pick it up, you know, for if I'm on hold with somebody at the tax office trying to get something ironed out, you know, I get to pick up the guitar and play, but I rarely get like time that I have set. I'll get practice for an hour. Like, no, that's not. I spend too much time running the business and making sure I can fish, film, and fail upward on YouTube like we're all trying to do, man.
It's the deal. Yeah. We talk about it all the time. We're like,
I grew up taught, you know, just if you want something, you got to work hard for it. And
for sure.
And you work hard looks tough on the front end, but once you get through it, it's so much more gratifying. And just to build something brick by brick yourself is something. So yeah, it's all about the work, man, the grind. And I try to keep it positive and always let people know that nothing that I have came easy. Like I said earlier, this wall right here started with 4 packs of Zoom and some Strike King swim jigs on it, and that was all I had. So, and I had a bait caster that I pulled out of the corner when I started. So, yeah, dude, hard work. It's where all of this came from.
How long you been at it, man?
My story's wild, man. My YouTube story. How long have I been at it? That's a loaded question, or I got to ask you a question to answer that question. How long have I been at what? Fishing, filming?
Let's start with how did you start fishing, and I will guide you through the rest. So start me with how you started fishing, because I always like to ask people that. It's kind of a boring question, but it usually opens a lot of doors. So how'd you get into it?
No, that's cool. Yeah, I'm used to telling this story. So I've been fishing my whole life. I grew up in the woods. You know, I was probably 3 or 4 years old when I caught my first fish by myself. You know, sunfish, bluegill, that kind of stuff, fishing in the creeks. I remember I caught my first largemouth bass accidentally on a beetle spin in the creek behind my house. We had ponds on our property. We fished those ponds. I grew up hiking to ponds. Any body of water that we could get to that we thought there might be a fish in it, I would fish it. And then my dad would always take us camping. We'd go catfishing. fish for any kind of fish we could catch, really. White bass fishing. And then when I was probably 12 or 13, 12 to 14 age range, my Uncle Gary took me out to my first real bass pond and started showing me a little bit about artificials. And yeah, Unc, he's the one that really got me going on the bass fishing. And then ever since then, it's been on. I've been fishing, for bass practically my whole life, ever since I was an early teenager. Ever since I got my driver's license, had rods in the car. And something else that followed along with that, two things that followed along with that, I always was into BMX, four-wheeler, and then boom, dirt bike. And by the time I got on motorcycles, it was on. I love motorcycles. I love fishing. And something else, old school back in the day before the cameras on the phone, camcorder, VHS. Well, we was jackassing. We were filming everything. And that was just something that we did. So making videos, riding bikes, fishing, three things that have always been a major part of my life. So fast forward 2014, people are doing this YouTube thing, and they're doing something called moto vlogging. You guys might be familiar, where the dudes ride the motorcycles around. They got the GoPro on their helmet, and they're riding motorcycles around talking, right? So I had some buddies that were doing that, making a living, making a killing, actually, doing moto vlogs. And it inspired me. I was like, hey, man, I make videos. I love shooting videos. I'm going to try to make some moto vlogs. So my focus shifted to YouTube, filming on my motorcycle, making moto vlogs. That was in 2014. I started my channel. It used to be called Justin the Apparition. It was all about motorcycles. And then I crashed my motorcycle, broke some ribs, tore myself up, healed up, kept riding. And then a couple years later, I crashed my motorcycle again and broke my left humerus bone as bad as you can break it. Right before Christmas, had to have surgery. You see a scar here where they got me open, got plates and screws in there, holding me together, bionic arm style. And it was really tough on me, tough on my family. It was a months long recovery. I could not ride. I couldn't really do anything. I mean, I was jacked up as bad as you can break a bone. And during that recovery, as soon as I started physical therapy, they started giving me the okay to start doing some stuff. And I couldn't ride motorcycles, and I was like, man, I got to get out of this house. It had been months laid up in the house, not being able to run my channel the way I wanted to, not being able to do what I love, which was riding motorcycles. And I pulled those rods out of the corner, man. And this is like 3.5 years ago now. I pulled those rods out of the corner of the garage, and I was like, I just moved to this area, and I was like, maybe I can go down to the lake and catch a fish. So I wonder if I can still do this. So I got my bass gear out, whatever little stuff I had left. I had a little power bait, bright yellow little power bait tackle box with some stuff in it. And I went out here and I started catching fish, dude. Started catching them from the bank, started getting stoked on it. And I had another boat that was not a bass boat. It was like a wakeboard boat with a big rack on top of it, right? Party boat. And I started taking that thing out and fishing off of it, dude. And I started taking it out and getting mad fishing off of it, like getting my bait, my spinner bait snagged in the wakeboard tower. And so I was fishing while I was recovering, and I started noticing those hook sets, dude, were rehabbing that arm. And during that whole process of the recovery, I fell back in love with the game of bass fishing. I sold that party boat, started beating the banks, saved up, got my first bass boat. The rest is history, dude. And that is how it all started, man. I've been fishing, riding motorcycles, and making videos ever since I was a kid. And somehow they all intertwined. And out of one of the worst things that's ever happened to me, that break in my arm, dude, everything happens for a reason, bro. And I got shifted onto this path that I'm on now. And now we fishing. And it's on. And it's been such a blessing, and everything's been amazing, and I wouldn't change it for the world. I wouldn't take any of it back. And that's how I got here, man. It's crazy.
That's such an awesome story. Broken arm, shattered arm.
Here we are, dude.
Open the door.
Tackle mile, bro.
Oh my God, that's a trip, dude.
Yeah, it is, man. It is. You know, I could be riding still.
Yeah.
After I crashed the first time, I broke my ribs. You know, boom, it bounced off the street, broken ribs, torn up shoulder. I mean, jacked up. First thing I thought was, man, I gotta heal up so I can ride. I broke my arm. First thing I thought was, I'm selling these dang bikes, bro. This sucks. It was brutal, man. I'm too old for it. I break a lot less bones fishing.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you also get less hooks in your face if you don't have such a good friend as I have when Paul tries to hook me all the time. Dude, the funny thing of what you just mentioned was like, I remember I had that camera. Like me and my buddies were making videos as well the same way, and I used to BMX too. Like,
awesome. Yeah, dude. Just filming stuff for nobody's ever see it. Like, where are these tapes? Who is like? Where do these tapes exist? Somewhere, you know. I couldn't tell you, but I mean, we were always recording myself playing guitar, recording myself doing this, recording myself riding a dirt bike in the front yard. Like that was just what we did, man. And so making videos is something that I've personally been doing long before YouTube. And then I remember at the very beginning of the internet, there was this video website. It was before YouTube, and it was like where you would go find all the viral videos. And I cannot for the life of me remember what it was called. But I remember thinking, this is awesome. This is going to pop someday. And now YouTube is like the biggest thing. It's crazy.
Well, it's interesting because like our generation like was when cameras started getting cool, like to the point where you could like take them places that you couldn't normally take with your camera.
Yeah,
like everything kind of shrunk and got awesome, and you know like the megapixels were going up like crazy on digital cameras, and they had like just started to come out when like we were like early teens or whatever. And I remember we had like cameras. All we wanted to do was like blow stuff up, make like we made like a lot of weird Lego videos, and it was like snowboarding videos. And it was sometimes it was like it started off. I think the first thing we ever had was one of those like motion cameras that would just take like 15 pictures, and then you could like look at them on a screen, and all you could do was like one thing, and that was it. And it was like it was like just do a backflip. Like that's all I wanted to do for like a year. Was like get a snowboarding backflip in like 15 pictures because that's all you could do. And then cameras started getting better, and it was like, okay, you like Jackass was like a real thing that made you want to like go in your backyard and do something on your own. That's exactly what they were doing, and there wasn't anything else like that. And it was all over. Like if you were anywhere in like the galaxy of MTV, like you could not get away from that, right? Like Jackass was everywhere, and it was awesome, and it was funny. And if you were like a teenage boy, like that's all like you wanted to do. Like that was like, it.
Every day, every weekend, we try to do stuff like that and film it. It was so dumb. Real quick, not to break from this amazing thought, but Chris Shue, thank you so much for the super chat, my guy.
Cheers, brother.
$5. You're awesome. Justin, your favorite spinnerbait is the question that he asked. What is your favorite spinnerbait?
I love that War Eagle finesse.
Yes.
I thought I might have it here. There's a little War Eagle finesse one. That's the one I love for throwing out here, man.
What color?
It's a little it's like a lavender and chartreuse. Really light shad. It's not so bright, but it's like lavender and chartreuse, man.
You're getting the you're speaking our language, man.
Oh my gosh, the purple greens. Come on now. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I love me some lavender.
That's so rad, dude. Yeah, well, I would say I really like the Z-Man spinnerbaits. I have a lot of those, but I love the War Eagles too. Those are like definitely up there on my favorites.
Chris Shue called out striking KVD in a 3/8 ounce.
Solid one.
Actually, that is actually one of my favorite. It's probably the biggest bass I ever caught was probably on that lure out in Canada. Actually, in the they have like a white. It's like a it's all white with like a light blue and a little bit of yellow. It's like a really bright like bluegill. Yeah, it's exactly
I have the same one. Yeah,
honestly, and I have 3 of them now. They always come with trailer hooks because KVD is a big like trailer hook guy. I always take them off. Especially on the 3/8 and a half, I always take them off. I do not use them. I don't think you need them. I shorten up the skirt, and I always use a short paddle tail trailer. But that is actually one of my favorite spinner baits. They started making them with a painted blade, and I don't like them as much anymore with the painted blade. I do like painted blades, but for whatever reason, the silver ones that they used to make, I have like 3 of those. That actually is one. I don't know if it's my favorite, but I just caught a giant on it, so it actually, It got like a huge level up in my book.
I caught like my first good sized pike on that exact spinnerbait. So it goes way back. It goes back for me. Also, Greg Whitaker, happy birthday, bro. Thanks for being here with us.
Oh, Greg. It's Greg's birthday? Yeah.
It's Greg's birthday, man.
Birthday, Greg. I know Greg.
Yeah, he sent me a crap ton of pictures today on Facebook Messenger. he's like, where were you, Greg? You were at like a store. They had like some crazy deals going on. He was buying up like all the Lucky Craft that ever existed in the history of
I thought he might have just been raging for his birthday. He's sending you pictures of him partying.
Right? Like, I mean, probably later. He was asking me if I would get the what was it, the Chase Baits squid? I think it's called the love bug. No, it's bigger. It's the bigger one. It's the actual like squid with the long tentacles from Chase Baits. Have you seen that? I think it's like 6 inches. It's like ridiculous.
I still have the smuggler right back there.
Oh, you got the smuggler hanging up, dude.
It's right there. So,
Justin, in Texas.
It probably would. I actually really want to make a couple TikToks out of that smuggler. Like, I want to make that thing. Yeah. Justin, do you know what the smuggler is? It's that big bird.
No, I'm not sure.
All right, let me grab one of these. I want to make like a whole character on this thing because it's like it is bonkers.
Yeah, it's the Chase Baits topwater bird, like the walking bait where the wings come out.
Oh forward. No, yeah, I know.
Yeah. It makes the most. The first time we fished it, we went night fishing, so you couldn't see it, and we would just like huck it out there and like reeling it back in. The craziest sound this thing makes. And Paul's gonna stab himself, hopefully for the content.
Getting myself unhooked on the Burly.
I legit almost put one of those through my finger. Not a joke.
You would have deserved it.
I'm sorry. I made that down. I do know what that is. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this bad boy, I ran this at night for probably 45 minutes, Jeff, on like a
Velociraptor, man.
It needs to be this. This could totally be like a character. This is gonna be a character. I'm gonna make something out of this. I just gotta figure out. I gotta figure out what voice to give him. That's my issue. That's the only thing holding me back from making that content.
You just need to do what Justin's saying and play the raptor sounds from Jurassic Park.
Actually, you know what? That's pretty good.
Just play that scene where Dr. Grant goes like,
do the Jurassic Park melodica cover. If you know that. If you know what that
dude. Yes. And it just comes walking on screen. Like,
yep.
Dude, all right, I'll zoom in on the water and we'll just have it come across the camera.
It writes itself. It's fantastic.
It does. And then we'll play like the dialogue from Dr. Grant talking to that kid about how the velociraptors were like birds. He's like, oh, what's so scary about a giant turkey?
Yeah, all of a sudden it comes.
Yeah, it'll slash you across the middle, spill your guts out.
For sure, man. We just hit one of the best like all time, at least from my movie standpoint. We just hit some nostalgia, which I know, Justin, for you is kind of a big deal. I know you got that. I know you got you got like a collector bug that you got going, man.
Oh yeah, I got some stuff, man.
I want to talk about some of the movie stuff. So like, I think I know Beetlejuice is one of them, right? And then is the other one it's Ghostbusters, right? Are those like your two big ones? Yeah, really a lot of Ghostbusters stuff, dude. A lot of Ghostbusters like vibe going on with a lot of stuff I do, yeah. So, but is it out yet? Can you
the new one?
Yeah, which new one?
You talking about it doesn't exist or no, I didn't even acknowledge that thing. Well, because it's not even the same. I mean, it's in the same galaxy, but that's about it. It's not even in the same movie. It's not
part of the multiverse.
I don't need
different universe.
I don't even. Nah, I didn't even.
But the new one will be in the same universe.
In my universe, it's not a thing.
Yeah, I feel you.
The new one. I'm kind of hoping that they did it. Just I'm skeptical because you know how it is, but no, it looks like they're trying to do it justice, and I'm mildly. I don't really get excited for anything that came out after like 2004, but I'm mildly intrigued. I guess I would say I'm old school, dude. I don't watch new movies. I couldn't tell you what's coming out or what's on the horizon. I'm fishing, filming.
I was like, what killed it in 2004? Was it just like the activities you're in, or
I just remember like
a movie came out and you were like,
when
I
was
hate
like
movies.
really watching movies and enjoying like the new movies that was coming out was like right around like the 40-Year-Old Virgin Knocked Up kind of time frame.
Yeah.
That was the last wave of movies where I was like, this is awesome. And after that, dude, I can't really remember anything that I thought, made me, laugh my ass off or anything like that.
Yeah. Fair.
I'm sorry?
Fair.
Yeah, I like Superbad. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Like 09?
Yeah, something like that, probably. It's the same thing. 04, 09, it's the same thing, dude.
Years. What is time but a concept?
Tomato, potato, bro.
There you go.
So it's funny because like the way you were talking about guitars and the way you talk about collecting, like some people just have like a mind where like your brain can like collect because you're like able to like the amount of information like that is required for you to like store in order to like even just like decent at collecting to me is like bonkers. I was watching that video where you kind of doing like a walkthrough of your office.
Oh yeah.
You were like there'd be like some action figure on like the bottom third shelf way in the back corner. You'd be like, oh, that's Krang back there hanging out. What's up? And then you would just keep going. I'm like, bro, how is your brain doing? Because I'll tell you right now.
I'm a dork, bro.
I can't remember all that stuff. There's just no way.
You don't remember Krang?
I remember Krang. It's not that I don't remember Krang, but like the level of knowledge that he had about every single one of those collectible pieces and like the level of detail, he would be like, he'd like look at a box, and be like, oh, the reason this one is important or special, or the reason it's a collector is because I think it was like one of the Ghostbusters boxes. You were like, this is a Ghostbusters 2, but the logo's a Ghostbusters 1. And then, dude, the level of Ghostbusters knowledge that was like being broken down to me, to my core, impossible. My brain would literally just be like, boop, 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 bye, control, delete it. Like it'd be gone. I couldn't do it. I was stunned and very impressed. So you got it
ready. I'm just a big nerd, man.
You're. Go ahead, Charles. Go.
Me?
Yes.
Oh no, no Super Mario Brothers. That's about where video games.
You mentioned 04. I don't know if you caught that.
No, yeah.
Was the new one? Did the new one come out in 04?
Video game stint I was on was like Halo 3 or 4, something like that. After that, wow. What it is now, when I try to pick it up, man, I got about 8 minutes in me before I'm like, I got to go edit a video. Like I don't know what it is, man. I'm booming out, guys. I'm getting old. I can't do video games anymore. Something's going on where I've shut it off. It's weird.
Dude,
there's no shame.
There was a time where like Paul and I played video games too. Like you had like Red Dead Redemption or whatever you were playing most recently, and then you sold your PS4, and like I got a Switch, and I was like big in the Nintendo world. I was like, I love these games. I played them all. I love like Zelda, Mario, all that, and then just past like what 4 months, I haven't touched it, man. It's been hard. Like, I want to.
3 years since I turned on a console. 3 years since I turned on a console, and it was literally collecting dust. And I was like, I turned that into a Hero 7 and a case, and that's what I started doing. Like, I literally I'll look around in my house and be like, what can I sell and turn into another GoPro or
we did that for a while.
Just like sell it, get it out of here, bye. Like I don't care.
This reminds me of a funny story, man. So speaking of booming out in video games, so my dad has actually got an Xbox, whatever, one of the newer ones, and
the new one, yeah.
And he's about it, dude. He's got an account, and you said Red Dead Redemption. I'm like, oh, my dad plays that. So my dad is about it. Well, so I went over there while back to visit, and he was like having me help him do some things on there. Like I can't remember what we're doing. I was helping him set up some things on this. And I opened up his account, and it says Sizable Rhymes is online, and I'm like, Sizable Rhymes? I'm like, you made your screen name. I'm talking to my dad, who could not name one hip hop track. Okay. His name is Sizable Rhymes. And I'm like, Dad, why is your name on here on Xbox Live, Sizable Rhymes? He's like, oh, that's, I guess that's what it put in as like his suggestion from name. And he just here's the fawn. Here, I'm gonna show you guys his baby gear.
No way.
It was. Anyways, So he just hit accept and took whatever they gave him first rip and never changed it. And man, when I went over there and saw that his straight up, now my dad's rapper name, Sizable Rhymes, and I'm still referring to him.
I gotta be honest though,
it's a good name. It's a good name.
Awesome. Hey, to the folks with the generator. That's legit.
It definitely could have laced him up with worse. I just thought that was so funny because I thought I was like, Dad, you typing Sizable Rhymes?
He was in the lab. That's what his mistake. He was in the lab like, what's my name gonna be? And like he came up with that.
I've got it.
Yeah, 3 a.m. I got it. Sizable Rhymes.
It's Sizable Rhymes.
We're still laughing about that one.
That's got tattoo status written all over it. I mean, if he wins like some sort of like significant match, or he gets like ranked in Xbox or something, I think he can go ahead and get Sizable Rhymes like tattooed like right here.
Oh yeah, I've got to get it blasted on my belly.
Yeah. Old school like rainbow. Yeah, dude. Absolutely. Yes. I love that.
On my chest, so it fit right in.
I love it. What's obviously you have a phenomenal relationship with Sixth Sense. How did that, you talked about like, I started out with a couple of bags of Zooms and some Strike Kings on the wall. How did you go from like that to being like a dude with like $1,000 worth of Sixth Sense crankbaits just hanging out on the back wall?
Sure. Yeah. Happy to share that story. So like I said, started out basic gear, and I was getting into swim jig fishing, dialing in my swim jig game. Was going through a lot of swim jigs. Had this is right around the time I was getting my boat, or maybe a little bit before. And I went up to Academy, and I was just shopping around, and I happened to just see the Divine swim jig. The best swim jig on the planet. Just hanging on a shelf, and I was like, dang, dude, I really love the head design on that. That's the thing that caught my eye, was the head mold. And I was like, that looks way nicer than what I'm using. And then when I got home, I started using the screw lock bait keeper, started saving money on my trailers while smashing fish on the dang things. And I was like, dude, these swim jigs are awesome. These are my new favorite swim jigs. I started using them a lot. And then I was restocking on swim jigs, and I was just looking around, and right down the aisle, there were some Sixth Sense crankbaits. And I, at the time, was not a crankbait fisherman. I had been a bait beater my whole life, never able to bass fish from a boat. I've only been bass fishing from a boat for the past 2 years. So, bait beater my whole life. Anytime I ever thrown a crankbait, snagged, lost, could never figure out the technique. So I was just moved on. And but at this time, like I said, getting my first boat, I was like, I want to try my hand at this now that I can do some offshore stuff. So I bought a couple square bills. I bought the Crush 50. Actually, right here.
What color? Do you remember?
Yeah, these two right here.
Ooh, oh, yes.
Specified chartreuse shad.
Yep.
Radiation.
I have both of those like right back here.
It's a Cheeto. And so, yeah, I started throwing those two square bills and started smashing on them, man. And then I really started learning a lot about square bill fishing and how to do it with the right gear. And, man, I fell in love with the crankbait game. And I started really dialing it in. And then it was around that time and I was doing it all on video. At this time, I had my boat. By this time, I had my boat. I was doing it all on video. And somehow through social media, Casey in the DMs thanked me or something, or somehow, I don't know, just random chat back and forth in the DMs, and ended up getting in contact with them through email a little more formally, started building a personal relationship, and also working really, really hard at building my online presence, making videos, representing their product, just because I love them. Was never told to do any of this. I just was like, I found this swim jig, it's awesome. I found this crankbait, it's awesome. And I'm just doing all this, and somehow they saw it. And then after talking for a while, we decided to make a move and build a partnership, which has only grown stronger, and it's become like a family now. It's the further along into it I go, the more I realize I'm right where I'm supposed to be. The people that are involved and the team that we've built is hands down the strongest group of like people and content creators and business people that I've ever been involved with, and everybody's so awesome. It's been insanely good and a major blessing in my life. But circling back, all from a lot of hard work, grinding, making videos every day to get here.
A lot of freaking fishing too, which I
put in way more hours doing this than I come from the corporate life, the 9 to 5, the regular job. I did that for years and years and years, and I put in way more hours doing this. Like, you got to be ready to rip if you really want to do this, and I'm ready to rip. So I think that's how they decided to give me a shot.
That's awesome, man. I love it. And
that's the
wallet's stacked
right there.
So,
I'm 6 till the grave.
Well, I love that too, and what I think was really telling, when you kind of made that transition was where, it wasn't like the first thing that came along either, was it?
What do you mean?
Like, did you have other options like that you were kind of like
first people? No, I've declined, stuff that people would call me crazy for saying no to. I'm sure a lot of people will do something just to get a product for free. I was blessed enough to be able to. I can buy a little fishing tackle here and there, so I wasn't looking to get 6 cents baits for free. I already had them. I was already using them. It wasn't about that at all for me. It was about something much bigger. And ever since we started working, I mean, you can just see what's building. I mean, the energy is unreal, and I'm so blessed to be involved. Grateful to be involved. It's been an awesome journey. Definitely could not do what I do without the 6 backing us. So yeah, shout outs to them, and thank you to the whole family. 6 Cents Fishing, Waterland. Shout outs to the Waterland family as well. That's right.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, like you said, you were looking for something that's more quality. Like, why would you want to, necessarily work for a company where you're not happy with the product? And I think that's something that anybody in the we'll do this influencer world kind of deals with, right? Like, you get offered all the time.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that term.
That's why I did this, bro.
But it's the reality. It's the reality. From the business side of it, that's if you're looking to gain sponsorship, that is how they're looking at it. They are looking at you as an influencer or a face for their brand to represent for their product. So that is something you need to take into account and realize that, these at the end of the day, they're looking at it from their side, and you got to look at it from a content creation side and figure out how to honestly and genuinely, without BSing people who have got you to where you are, merge the two and be able to showcase how good it is for real, and people will see that you're not BSing, when it's on camera. So I've been smashing on every bait you see behind me, and I got videos on all of them. So go check them out. It's the real deal.
We can contest. We can not contest. We can attest that.
We can contest.
I will attest.
Yeah, buddy. Well, we got news for you.
Thanks, nerd. Send me a link. I will test that. We were just talking about one of the baits that just came out like relatively recently. That finesse curve. Because Jeff and I, that's kind of what we do. We'll go around and we'll figure out what's out there, and we'll just go fish it, and try and catch a fish on it, dude. That one in the what's the dark color with like the yellow dots? I can't remember what the color is called. It is silly, and it is phenomenal.
Right here.
That's the one.
That's the one right there, dude.
That's the one.
Yep.
Looks like a custom. That's not a custom. It's just that heat.
That thing just kills me. I love it. But yeah, I mean, and I think, can you give us the quick, I don't want to call it a sales pitch, but what's sort of like the baseline for 6 Cents? Like, what makes them 6 Cents and not anybody else?
Well, the best paint schemes in the game on the hard baits, as far as I'm concerned. Some of the most unique and creative colors. If you want, they have everything across the entire spectrum. If you want extremely natural, realistic, subtle, they got it. If you want stupid, if you want the stupid, crazy, you know what I mean? If you just want to go wild,
yeah,
they've got it. And the thing that makes them stand out to me, I'm a Texas boy, Texas born and raised, like we talked about earlier, and they're a Texas company built from the ground up, brick by brick, through hard work from a dude that was just grinding and ended up deer are in the garage. You hear the deer are in the garage.
We got gas.
think I'm lying.
What's up, bro? What's up?
If you want to follow Justin on Instagram, it's the Justin Royal, right?
The Instagram handle, yeah.
Instagram handle. You gotta go do that because I'm literally watching this dude on the daily. Just he'll be like, put out a hand with some almonds, and he'll just have some gorgeous deer just roll up and just be snacking in the garage.
Feed the deer.
Let's do it.
We'll take a deer feeding break.
He's like, "Sup, bro? Where's my snack?"
Yeah. Look at your boy.
He got the corner.
It's like, oh, yo, he's like a tattoo. He's a tattooed Steve Irwin right now.
Oi, the deer are hungry. I'm gonna feed them.
This is if he brings one in his lap, I'll quit the show right now.
Grab one, you ready?
Yeah.
Gotta go. I'm gonna catch one.
Oh my god.
I just love how there was just more and more of them showing up.
Y'all thought I was lying about the deer.
Absolutely not. You know, you waved at somebody earlier, and I kind of in my brain was like, I'll bet that's like his favorite doe that just rolled by. He'd be like, "See you, Susie. What's up, girl?"
my neighbor ripping off. But anyways, yeah, back to what we were saying, man. They come from a similar type of mentality. You know, started small. Dude just started painting baits and ended up building it brick by brick, which is something we're all familiar with, trying to build something brick by brick slowly and just build that momentum into something bigger for yourself, for your family, for your future. And, man, I've just always gravitated towards that, the realness and the honesty and the incredible baits. You know, that's where it all started. Their baits are awesome. I started fishing them, started loving them, and was like just falling in love with the gear. And then it just turned out that it happened to be like one of the, honestly, the best companies run by some of the best people that I've ever had the honor of like interacting with and building a relationship with as far as the business side of things. And I have spoken to some big names that did not behave the same way. So I know I'm right where I'm supposed to be, and it's been nothing but all good. Me and the six.
That's awesome, man. And you're like, they have an insane catalog of colors. Like, I gotta say, like, you just
bluegill.
Yeah, if you guys just roll through Tackle Warehouse, pick any brand, just pick a brand, go through their colors, and then go look at any of the, because 6th Sense is on Tackle Warehouse too, and you'll see it there too, and you'll just be like, well, why are there 48 colors of jerk baits on here? It's so hard to pick one. The only close thing I'd say is like Mega Bass is like kind of like, oh, look at all these colors. Like between the two, I'm always like, it's so hard to pick a color because you have so many options, but it's phenomenal. Real quick before we like continue this thought, I do want to say thank you to Hoosier Fat Bassin for the super chat, $1.99. Thank you so much, man. Have any of you guys thrown a 6th Sense Axis? And I'm gonna pair this with another question from Dunbar the Fishing Machine, and we're gonna talk about some 6th Sense baits real quick. So let's start with the Axis. So the Axis I have not thrown because guess what? I can't freaking buy one because they're out of there. You have one? You got one in the stack.
Fished it yesterday and smacked probably my PB rock bass actually
on the Axis. That's dude. So I have
slab
it because it's just like it's like the 13 fishing jabberjaw, right? It's like a metal. It's not. Is it a moving lip?
The wobble is silly. The wobble on it
for sure.
Is silly.
The action is different. The loosely based concept is generally the same. But yeah, it's super unique, wide hunting.
Yeah,
it's different than anything. You got to know how it's got a niche application, I feel, but it's definitely a totally different action when it comes to a grain bait. It's
So I want one. I just can't buy one because they're out of stock.
Justin, where do you deploy the Axis?
I get mine from the Dairy Queen. Same guy. I'm just kidding.
But where do you throw yours? Like, where do you use the Axis?
Yeah, what's your best use of the Axis?
Shallow when there's bluegill in the area.
So that's exactly
what I needed when I was going up against Online Outdoorsman in my video on Wednesday when I got my butt kicked.
Well, and so I was running that 4K bluegill, I think the 50X, and I was running the Axis anytime it got less than 5 feet, and I was smacking them.
Or if they're not moving fast. If the fish are on that slower move, a little bit wide, that wider, droney kind of search.
It's almost
high wiggle of a smaller profile bait.
And it's almost kind of confusing when you watch it in the water, because at first you got to like double take to be like, is it working? Is it moving? Like, is it wiggling? You see it, you can see it doing this, and then but then all of a sudden if you really watch, it's just so much slower, and it's just totally different. I mean, it legitimately is a little confusing the first time you're on the retrieve, because you expect it looks like it should just be shuddering. Totally different.
Yeah.
So I'm jealous of you guys. So to answer this question, who's your fat bass? And no, yes. There you go. And then they're saying it's phenomenal. So I'll just have to steal Paul's because he owes me some baits anyways.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So Chaz has it up. Thank you, Chaz, for that. And then I was going to ask you this earlier. So Dunbar the Fishing Machine asks, they need a chatterbait and a spinnerbait. And I always wondered this. Why don't we have a chatterbait and a spinnerbait? Well, chatterbait, I know why it can't be called a chatterbait, but let's say a bladed jig or a vibrating jig and a spinnerbait from 6 Cents.
Oh man, I don't even know if I could. There's a lot involved in that, and that's just all I'll say. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes when it comes to that, and I feel like those two things are one of the reasons. Might be those two things are pretty covered. You've got jackhammer, and then you've got the lower Z-Man stuff, which is really popular, accessible to just about everybody. And then as far as spinnerbaits go, I mean, the market is as flooded as it can get. So, this is one thing I always think, because people ask me all the time. I mean, I get asked literally nonstop. Hey, are y'all ever going to come out with a chatterbait? Hey, are they going to do this? Have y'all ever thought about? And my answer in my head that I always think about saying is, guys, if you've thought about it, these old boys have thought about it. Like
nobody has.
They're doing all day. They're sitting at the office thinking of what baits can we make? How can we make them? How can we innovate? I will say this: one thing that 6 Cents strives to do is not bring something to market without pushing the envelope or putting their own take on it. So it's difficult to put your own take on something that's already done so much and so well by so many people. So I don't know. I'm not running the company. But that's the little bit of insight that I do have on that, my personal thoughts on the situation. Don't know for sure what the reasoning behind that, but I can guarantee you that if you've thought about 6 Cents making a chatterbait or a insert bait here, those old boys have thought about it too.
I would have an issue. I would be I would be like, what's a chatterbait? Are they good? Do they work? Like, because I wouldn't be able to handle it. It would be a problem. I mean, it would be an issue.
You have to have thick skin and a lot of patience to do this, man. I'd spend a lot of time, responding to every single DM. That's one of the reasons why I was sort of upset when whatever happened with our communication, dude. That was strange. Having to scroll that far to find you, super weird, dude.
Yeah,
but
you guys.
But I'm glad we reconnected, and I'm happy to be here now. But yeah. I forgot where I was going.
Man. We're stoked to have you on. And like, you guys, just so you know, Justin literally sent me a screenshot video of him scrolling down to his Instagram DMs to find my original message when it was like, hey man, we good to go on one of these lives? It was buried and unread. So dude does not lie. But yeah, I'm so pumped that we got to reconnect. Instagram's so weird with the messaging, honestly. It can be challenging. Real quick, shout out to Michael Long for the super chat, $4.99. Thank you so much, sir. He says, great content tonight, guys.
Hey.
Thank you. Also, if you have a question for Justin, throw it out.
Let him rip. I'm down for the get down.
Absolutely. Oh man, I love it.
Get over here. Get on the live stream.
Come on, special guest.
Tell everybody my YouTube channel.
So one question I got right now, and some people are actually starting to ask, like, rods coming out from 6 Cents is kind of a new-ish a deal. You talked about your love for crankbaits and really 6 Cents. That's kind of where the money is. That and some of those plastics. What's your favorite cranking rod? And what's the setup for that?
Definitely, yeah, I'd love to talk about that. So I get asked this a lot. Like every day. And my first response is always, what kind of cranking are we talking here? So I'm going to go ahead and just cover all the bases. We'll go from square bill all the way up to the deep stuff, if that works. So
Hit it.
these deer are just, they're like, give me the almonds, I'm about to jump you. They're all right here. It's funny. So square bill, you want a lighter action, more moderate rod, something to throw something light on. So my 2 suggestions from the 6th Sense lineup. Number 1, the 6.9 medium moderate Lux series rod. That's a killer finesse square bill cranking rod for like the curved finesse that we were talking about earlier, or the Crush 50. Probably wouldn't go any bigger than that. Then when you start getting into stuff like a bigger square bill, or this bait right here, the Curve 55, the regular one, not the non-finesse version. Like, I tell people this is a great place to start to get into cranking. Like, if you know how to square bill and you want to start doing some deeper stuff, this is like a great mid-range, mid-depth diving crankbait that you don't need really heavy gear to throw. So the 611 Lux series, it's a medium, heavy, moderate. That's a killer rod for that. So there's my 2, my square bill and then my lighter mid-depth cranking rods. But then once you start getting up into the Cloud 9 series, I have 2 main rods that I throw. A lot of these right now are sold out on 6thsensefishing.com because it's crazy right now. Getting stuff restocked has been insane, but you can still find these on Tackle Warehouse. So you should be able to shop around it and get these models available somewhere that I'm talking about, even if they're not available directly through the 6. But deep cranking, 2 sticks. The Cloud 9 cranker, the 7-foot, 11-inch, medium, heavy, moderate, long, moderate. I mean, it's meant for sending. I'll throw the C, anything up to the C10 on that. And then if I'm going C15 or C20 or 300 DD, super deep, big plug, I'm throwing that on the 8-foot, medium, heavy, moderate. And that's their A-rig swim bait rod, but it's perfect for throwing those big cranks, man. And those are the 2 rods, the last 2 rods that I just mentioned are the rods that I was using in my most recent video out there with Ben. So that's what I was cranking with. Those are my 2 favorite deep cranking rods. But if you're looking to get into it for the first time, just a good little medium, a shorter medium, perfect for throwing light square bills.
Now, can you tell people why they should be looking medium? Because everything else that you hear, unless it's like heavy jigging or frogging, someone's going to come in and say medium heavy. That's what's going to be flooding the shelves when you go into like a standard sporting goods.
Yeah, so that's why it's important to look at your online resources and find a cranking rod, whether it be through Amazon or through your local tackle shop. It's important to find the right cranking rod because, as you said, when you go to 90% of places, you're going to see medium, heavy, fast, extra heavy, fast, frogging rods, the stuff that is good for general types of fishing that you can throw a lot of different baits on. When it comes to crankbait fishing, everything from square bills up to the deep stuff, I think the most crucial piece of gear is the rod by far. You want that parabolic bend because fishing with the trebles and the smaller baits, it does so much better at keeping those fish pinned and keeping the pressure on those fish in the right way. And you're not going to wear yourself out. This is something that people overlook. If you're throwing a crankbait on a super fast action rod all day, cranking it's going to be so tough on you. You know, throwing anything that dives deeper than a square bill is going to wear your arm out. And you really start realizing the enjoyment and how much fun it can be when you start using the right gear. And that's what changed the game for me. It was even before I started using 6th Sense rods, I used a Dobbins 705 CB for my square bill rod. That's an excellent crankbait rod that anybody should have access to. But most of the stuff you see is going to be medium, heavy, fast. And if you're cranking on that, after about an hour, you're like, this sucks, I'm done. Yeah. If you have the right rod, I mean, it really makes it fun.
I feel that too, and that's how I feel about. We'll get to this question in a second on the chat, but I think that that's how I felt about the finesse game. Like running finesse on a medium heavy will make you hate what it is that you're doing. And when you hit that right, like I got a Ducket Triad, and it changed everything for me. Like literally everything. I don't even think about finesse fishing the same way that I did before I got that rod. And it has been, I mean, it legitimately changed. You talk about game changers. I'm with you. And it's hard to really understand until you have it happen. It's like when you're trying to use a medium heavy fast, 6.6, and you're trying to jig, or you're trying to huck frogs, 30 miles and jack them out the pads. Like it's just, it's not going to be as much fun because you're not going to win, right? You're going to lose that battle a lot more often than you're going to win it.
Sure. And not everybody, not everybody has the means to go pick up 10 rods or have a rod for every application. So I understand wanting to fish from the bank with your medium, heavy, fast, and throw a crankbait if you can. I totally get it. It's doable. But I'm talking about crankbait fishing from a boat, really. That's my niche, guys. So when I'm talking about all this, I'm speaking from the deck of a boat or offshore in some manner, floating. So if you're looking to do that, you should be able to afford one more cranking rod, and it will really make you have so much more fun.
It's worth $100, $150. Whatever. It really is. Like, especially to your point, if you're running a boat, make the most of it. I would agree.
At that point, it's a drop in the bucket.
Drop in the hole in the water. I would agree.
Get the dang thing. Yeah, it's funny, like the evolution you really go through when it goes from like the bank and you got a couple or at most like 4, 5, 6 rods. You go to the kayak, we were able to level up like our combo setup. You go to a bass boat, it's like a whole nother ball game. Maybe you got a couple of cranking rods like you're talking about, but I think those are all good references, and you guys should definitely go check those things out. Very extremely important, possibly the most important question that's ever been asked in the history of fishing, from our friend of the show, Paul's Improved Clinch Knot, formerly known as Sports Freak 76. He asks that first of all, he states that's great information, but we really want to know, what knot do you use when you're tying on these lures? Very important question. Most important question, sorry.
Yeah, this is an important question. And the answer to that question is, what knot should you use? You should use the knot that you can tie the cleanest. Whichever one you can tie the cleanest, that's the one that you can use. And I can tie 3 knots the cleanest. And generally, unless there's a very specific application, the need for a snell knot, which is in my case rare, because I'll flip with I don't even need to flip with a flipping hook. I'll flip with the EWG. But if I'm doing sometimes you need to tie a different knot. But generally, the 3 knots that I bounce between the old school improved clinch knot, he mentioned it, Palomar knot, and the San Diego Jam. Those 3 knots just work for me. I can tie those 3 knots the cleanest. I have confidence in my ability to tie those knots. Those are not the only 3 knots that I know how to tie. But those are the 3 knots that if I'm tying on a bait and you're sitting on me with the boat, you bet the farm on one of those 3 knots is about to get tied.
Connection knot? Yeah, leader connection knot.
Alberto knot all day. It's an overlooked knot. It's the smallest knot. People always do the double FG Super Ninja San Diego 5000. Alberto knot is the connection knot, and I tried a bunch of them. I did the double uni for a long time. Did the blood knot, but the Alberto is the way to go for me when it comes to connecting. I ran braid the leader on everything for a long time.
Love it. Yeah, Chaz's FG and
you can probably tie an FG knot either better than you or I could tie an Alberto knot, which is why I choose the Alberto knot, because I can tie it the cleanest, right? It goes back to that first thing I said. Whatever you have confidence in, that fish isn't gonna take advantage of a weakness in your game. That's what I would go with. But man, it's so many dang knots because they all freaking work if you tie them right.
The irony where this came from. So I just have like a bone to pick with people because I think people are weird. And there was a period of time where like on Instagram and on social media, people were talking trash about the improved clinch knot.
Oh
and
fisherman's knot or whatever.
Dude, it bugs me. It bugs me because like I guarantee you that the largest fish that's ever been caught, largest bass that's ever been caught, was on an improved clinch knot.
Pay no attention, man. When I tie that improved clinch knot, it looks like a machine.
That's what I'm saying.
It looks like
the eagle
thing.
My boy, yeah, you get me.
Because I've got.
And like, how
to tie.
How many fish you lose? You know how many dudes ran that for 60 years? How many fish they lose? None. And it's like, oh, it's not as good as the pepper. And like, I'm not saying that other knot. And how are you about to be like, look, this knot that worked for like an eternity is no longer good. It's just bad. I'm like, oh, okay. Thanks, bro. Appreciate you.
I learned it when I was like 6, and
we all did, and it still works, and it works for every fish. It's phenomenal. And I think I'm probably in the same boat, except for instead of your third knot, I'm definitely loop knot. I live and die by a loop knot.
That's crazy because I was practicing my loop knot today Just practicing it, and I tied a really. This one's like a mile long, bro.
No, see, that's the thing. With the,
trying to get it. Y'all quit making fun of me, man. I'm trying to get it.
I'm not. I make fun of nobody.
No.
So there's my favorite thing. The hardest thing about the loop knot is what is probably one of the harder things on the improved clinch. People don't realize that with an improved clinch, you don't pull it slow when you want to get a nice clean line when you're pulling the main line, right? So if you're trying to maintain a short tag, like you got a nice tag, you don't pull the tag. I pull the main line and I pull it fast. That's what keeps it clean and straight and not all wrinkly, right?
Yeah.
You gotta learn that. It takes, you gotta tie 200 of them before you start figuring that out.
You gotta sit there and tie all this damn knots.
Loop
That's
knot,
what it is.
the loop knot, the toughest part about the loop knot, honestly, and I don't think after tying a couple hundred of them, the hardest part about the loop knot is learning which end to tie when you want to shrink your loop, and which one to tie when you want to cinch it down, because it's very, very easy to forget which one does what. Once you figure that out, everything else falls into place, and that knot becomes exactly what you want every single time. So that's my tip. If you want to tie a good loop knot, focus on, if I pull this, what does it do? If I pull this, what does it do? And everything else, like once you have that memorized quickly, your loop knots will just start being money every time. Because it's actually pretty simple when you boil it down.
Yeah, it's a pretty simple knot.
It is money knot though. You had it on that stick bait. I love jerkbait fishing. It's like my all-time, like that's like one of my favorite ways to fish. And that's how I started tying the loop knot, doing that. And then on ultralight tackle for ultralight poppers, those little Rebel Pop R's, those little guys, I do a loop knot on those now, and it changed everything, man. It, like, I don't even think about those lures the same way, and that's why I don't know, I could tie those in my sleep now. I love them.
Awesome.
I suck at knots. I'm very bad at knots. I need to spend a lot of time working on them. Mostly it's a combination of fat fingers and also like really shaky hands from like caffeine and stress. I'm like tying like, oh god.
Bro, Monster will ruin a knot before your talent will. That's for dang sure.
Yo, if you guys want to see some crazy shaky hands, there's actually 2 videos on the channel of me tying knots. Go back and check them out. They're somewhere in there. We're gonna have Paul tie the knot videos from now on forever. Paul's a freaking surgeon. He's all steady hands McGee. I'm like, hey man, can you like tie me anything? Like I don't want to tie knots anymore.
You start fly fishing, you realize it's really just an exercise in puzzles and not tying. I mean, that's really what it boils down to when you start fly fishing, man. You'll learn about 10 more knots than you need.
My dad is all about it. The whole tie flying station. He would sit there for hours, dude. Just tying flies, bro. It's all about it.
I'm gonna start. So I actually wanted to ask this on one of the lives. So there's 2 fly shops that I go to that are close by here, and one of them has recently kind of expanded, and they've opened up a like a traditional tackle, like non-fly fishing room, and they've got a ton of great stuff in there. They got like everything from Molix all the way out to Strike King. They got it all. They did a really nice job getting that assortment down. They've got a ton of Shimano, like really high-end stuff, your Curados, all that, the goodies. They got everything. They did a really nice job with it. One of the things that they're going to be doing is they just did a limited assortment of spinner baits, and what they did is they took the skirts off and then they hand tied them to be like some of the patterns that they tie on the fly fishing side, because they got some guys that are just unbelievable fly tires. And I had been, Jeff, how long have I been talking about doing hand tie jigs and with real material and also spinner baits? So the question would be is, who would want to see a bluegill pattern or a perch pattern spinner bait made out of actual fly tying material, hand tied, versus like a skirt?
Like do a head-to-head showdown?
I would like to see them get fish, because I'll tell you right now, I think you could, like, if you put the right material on there, that there's absolutely no way it can compete with rubber. There's no way rubber could compete. I think that live material, you get enough on there, and you hand tie it on with enough good solid thread and like some super glue. I don't really know if you could compete. I'll be honest.
Chat says yes, so there you go.
One person said yes. I'm gonna tie 1,000.
5 people said yes. 6, 7.
I gotta tie 10,000.
10,000, huh? All right, we'll see Paul next decade.
I really do want to do it though, because I feel like it's something that if anyone wants to go look, it's Schultz Outfitters. The guy's a smallmouth legend. I mean, he owns the Huron River. Fished it his whole life. The guy's just a machine for smallies in the river. Would love for you guys to go check those out. They just did a limited edition run. Go give them some props. It's a great idea. They did a really nice job, and I'm gonna have to steal the concept and tie some of my own because I think it's absolute genius.
So there's a few companies that actually do this that are on Tackle Warehouse and available. And Justin, I might have sent you one of them. I can't remember. I've been sending them, but like it's like Angel Lures or something. There's a few. There's like 2 or 3. There's like J&W Customs as well. There's a few on there, and they'll do like the hand tied fly tying material in addition to potentially a silicone material as well.
On Ned Rigs, bro.
What do you think? I sent you all Ned rigs?
I said I already know you sent all Ned rigs, bro.
Come on now.
Do you have a spinning setup for Ned? Do you have a finesse setup?
I have one.
Yes.
You gotta go back in the closet.
Bro, I just sent you 10 bags of Z-Man's Copper Truce. Like that's all you getting, dude. No, I didn't.
I'll open them. I'll crack them bad boys up and show them off.
Yes. Be like, here they are. There's the trash.
I'm looking forward to the unboxing vid. That'll be fun.
Yeah, we didn't even mention it, you guys. So I actually have it. It's been sitting here this whole time. There it is. We've got a unboxing to do. So Justin sent me this. I sent him a box, and hopefully we're gonna get those videos up next week.
So on, dude.
Yeah, we're gonna coordinate. We'll get them up like same day. We'll coordinate. You guys will see that, so that'll be fun.
We're an unboxing or two.
You've done an unboxing or two.
My day.
Is it all right? So real quick, because I think it's almost time that we roll this giveaway. I think it's probably time we do that. We'll do a lightning round. But real quick question before we do that, on scale of videos that you make, where do unboxings rank for you in terms of enjoyment for you to film? Like, what do you think about your unboxings?
Oh, the most fun videos for me to film by far are on the water fishing content. But the audience, on the other hand, man, I go fishing for 10 hours, run 4 cameras, spend 16 hours on the edit, get 5,000 views. But if I unbox a box of bass in the garage, bro, and slap a 1-angle view together, dude, they come running. I don't know what it is. They just love it. People love to see you open stuff. They love to see you get new stuff, spend money. It is what it is. When I started incorporating unboxing content along with my normal on the water content, that's when I really started seeing a lot of growth on my channel, and I was, getting both types of audiences that I enjoy interacting with, which is anglers and tackle junkies, which is kind of, my target audience. So, if you like fishing from a bass boat, or if you like tackle in general, my channel might be up your alley. So,
well, and quality edit. Let's be real. Like, your level of editing has gotten so much better as I've kind of watched the progression of your channel, and that's something that I have a ton of respect for, people that really put the time in to do quality edit, because that is like, you never get paid for it, dude. Like, it doesn't. I mean, yes, it shows up in the video, but like, people are not watching you. I mean, I do all my editing after 8:30 p.m. Period. That's the only time I can do it, and that's how it is for a lot of people. And it always, that's the background grind that people don't see.
For a long time, man. I did the same thing. Getting up, going to work every day, coming home, riding until dark, and then editing until I pass out. I mean, I did it for years, and this is no different. Like, it's a nonstop editing grind. I appreciate you saying that, by the way, about the editing. I'm always trying to get better as a video maker. I enjoy the editing process, which is something I feel a lot of people struggle with. When people start doing this, they don't realize that, after I get off the water, I got to go right back to work. Like, you've been fishing all day. You're done. You haven't peed or taken a drink in 9 hours. Now it's time to get to work. And then if you really want to do it consistently, and you want to do it successfully, and you want to have consistent growth, you got to think about doing that every day, or at least at minimum a couple times a week. And to do that and make it entertaining, it's tough. It's a grind. You got to be ready to bust your butt. And that is the biggest message that I can put out there for anybody that's thinking about doing this. You better get ready. It's a ton of work. But if you really love it, you're in love with it, man, it's a crazy life to do this. It's fun.
You gotta love it. That passion has to run deep, because like you hit it right there. Let's say you fish for 8 hours.
And people see through that BS. If you're faking it, the world will know.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that's where you see some guys like take a break. They're like, I could shoot videos and it'll look terrible and I'll be grumpy the whole time and I'll wear my emotions on my sleeve, or I'll just take a week off and then like come back and hit it hard. Like sometimes that happens, but like you nailed. Like if you go on an 8-hour fishing trip, you know that your editing it's gonna take a while, man. You gotta compile all those clips, organize them, you like put it together in like a timely manner that actually makes sense. So you build your timeline out and then you gotta clip everything down. Like it's a lot of work.
It's a whole other job. And yeah,
it really is.
Start incorporating multiple cameras with multiple lines of audio, trying to film things from multiple angles and make it look good at the end product. And then when you fish, like my style is fish all day, record all day. Like I don't want to miss anything. I don't want to miss, if somebody says something stupid, I want it on camera. So I run my cameras nonstop and I review I still have everything I've ever shot ever. So, I mean, I'm a video junkie for sure. So it helps to have that mentality going into this video editing thing.
Well, and then on top of that, you add in the social media piece, because now it's like you can't just make the video. You got to grab the clip from the thing to do the promo.
You got to have the quadruple whammy. You better be on everything. And now they want you to be on TikTok, and now here I am. I had to make a dang Discord account for these guys today. I mean, God, it's never ending.
There's so many things to be on, dude. We try to be on them all.
I'm out over here and mow the lawn, and you guys got me making a Discord.
Well, G Moore had G Moore had 459, $5 super chat. Thank you, brother. We appreciate you. He says, guys, the content is so great. I'm going back through the catalog podcast. I'm currently at episode 44, really enjoying it. Bro, you're a captain, my captain. You're the man.
You went back before 44? Bro,
Yeah,
we could have told you to start at 25-ish. Like skip the first 25. If you want just like to level out, you guys go back and listen to episode 1 and then skip all the way over to like episode 30 and then listen forward. Cow. They get way better.
No,
we appreciate you though, man. That's so awesome.
You. That is hella awesome. We really do. I've done the same thing for podcasts, and I can't believe that someone's doing it for ours. That literally is mind blowing.
Yeah, dude. Bro, you were going back in time?
Bro, buckle yourself up, yo.
Yeah,
dude, you're like Benjamin Button this whole thing. You're not joking at all, yo. No, it is. Yeah, it's just I just got 3 unsubscribes. I just watched episode 25. It is garbage.
It goes from like a 7 on the 10 scale down to a 2. Down to a 2.
You're a brave soul. I appreciate you though very much, and honestly, I'm humbled and I'm very grateful. Thank you for going and doing that. That's super cool, man. I never thought anybody would be doing that. That's super cool.
Cheers to that. We appreciate you. Giveaway time. Yes. You guys are already. I love that everybody's already typing in chat.
Everyone's already getting the chat.
Make sure you're typing in chat. You know, type. And Chaz is keeping track. We're gonna draw a random winner here at the end of the lightning round for a $25 gift card to MonsterBass.com.
Bad boy right now. Good luck to me. Oh, wait.
Our guest is the winner. All right, sorry, nerds, you lose. All right, so let's hit this lightning round.
All right, so we call it light round, no time limit, but we're just gonna hit you with a couple fun questions.
Like really slow lightning. It's like a
time lapse lightning. So we're gonna do first one is what's your favorite animated like series or cartoon series?
Ooh, man, favorite animated. Am I going first here?
Yeah.
Favorite animated cartoon series, dude. And there's a couple really good ones.
There's a lot of bangers.
And Metalocalypse, dude. I think that
just for the reached way back.
Anymore, but for the impact that it had at the time, like I was like an extreme metalhead, and was like, I was like, okay, so this is. I felt like at the time it was not the greatest animated show, the greatest show ever created.
Period.
So I was really stoked on that. If I had to put one up there, but I mean the obvious ones. When I think Adult Swim, stuff like that.
Yep.
Futurama, you know, I really love Futurama. But what was that? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I never got into that one. But lately, I think Rick and Morty, you know, the first couple seasons of that were really
Yes.
awesome. Just the whole, like, you know, physics, quantum physics, you know, sort of stuff. But it went off the rails to me. But, man, it's tough for me to pick a favorite, dude.
That's okay.
What's it called?
Disenchanted?
Yeah, no, the wife was watching it. I couldn't. Like I said, man.
2004.
It's not the same. Yeah, I watched every episode of Futurama. Futurama is like
dude,
right, way up here.
One of the greatest animated characters ever. There's my favorite part in that whole. Man, I don't even know if I should tell the story since we're going on YouTube. I'm gonna skip that. But anyways, there's a really funny joke, but it references something that could be interpreted as sensitive. So I'm gonna go ahead and skip over it. That's my answer. Futurama.
Good call. All right, so what's your favorite movie that you feel like never got enough play or that people may have not have seen? Like a cult classic or something that's like flying under the radar.
This is easy, dude. I'm going to give you 3 of them right now because my top 3 films are probably obscure films that not a lot of people watching would pick as their top 3, one of which you can see right here on the wall behind me. I'm a movie buff, late 80s, early 90s, some late 90s stuff specifically, but Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas is hands down the greatest movie. Like, that's my favorite movie. I think that's the best movie ever made. I just love it. That front to back,
moneymaker, 100%.
So creative. I'm a big HST fan, and that movie is awesome. Number 2, tied for first place technically, but you got to say number 2, The Big Lebowski. Huge Big Lebowski fan.
Good one.
That's excellent. And then number 3 is interchangeable here. I'm going to give you 2 that slide in and out of my number 3 spot.
Top 5. Okay, top 7.
Of course, the obvious ones, we talked about Beetlejuice, Ghostbusters, all that stuff earlier. But number 3, you got Dazed and Confused and Rad. And those are just...
Good call. Good call.
Kid, I got 2 BMX bikes over there. So those are my top 4 or 5 just greatest movies of all time. Sorry, took up more than one. Like I said, favorite, man. I got a lot of stuff going on up here. And
I said, like, your brain has like another gear that mine doesn't have that allows you to remember all that. Jeff, what do you have one?
Do I have an obscure cult classic movie that I love?
Yeah.
Well, I was digging the Hunter S. Thompson stuff in the background there, the Fear and Loathing. I was like thinking about that all episode because I really love that movie. If I had to throw one out there, I would say for me a nostalgic one is Evil Dead, and I don't think that it gets enough play. The original
Detroit
Evil Dead, which has
the first one.
Oh, dude,
the first one, and then the second one's like a remake of the first one.
That's not a movie.
And then Army of Darkness is like a child's version of Evil Dead.
I'm on the child side of the spectrum. Love it.
Love that
movie.
Too.
That's not flying under anybody's radar, is it?
You guys know what Boondock Saints is, right? It was a sleeper hit for sure.
Okay.
That's fair.
Oh, really? That one's like way up on just like the list. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Fire. Dude, that's
bro, that's
that freaking sequence. Oh my gosh, so good.
Oh yeah.
Willem Dafoe, what a freaking beast.
He went full cokehead the whole movie, and it was outstanding. It was outstanding. I would mine, and this one.
They don't make them like that, dude. They don't make them like that. That's why I could watch them after that movie came out, bro.
Shut it. That was the end. 04. It was Boondock Saints.
Whatever. I would say The Burbs. Has anybody seen Tom Hanks' The Burbs?
Tom Hanks' The Burbs. Yeah, that's a good
movie. I've probably watched that movie not an exaggeration. I probably watched that movie 50 times, and it's like Will Ferrell had this thing where like I hated all the Will Ferrell movies when they came out. Like instantly, I was like, this movie sucks. And then I would watch it again. It's like, okay, it's not that bad. And then I'd find myself watching it for like the 16th time. I'm like, this movie's unbelievably great. I love this movie. The Burbs was like the first time I watched it, it like instantly hooked me, and I thought it was amazing. And then I realized that like my family was like the only people that I knew that had ever seen that movie, all the way up until I was like in college and like randomly met someone who had seen it. And that movie, by that time I'd seen it 30 times, and it was just like, I think that movie's just hilarious. And I keep finding there's like all these like just like absolute gem comedy, hidden little things in that movie for you to like find. They're just like waiting for you. It's a great movie.
I like that Jagman called out The Room, and I was thinking about this too. If you guys think of the worst movies of all time that are cult classics, The Room is a great one, and also Troll 2, which is not actually about trolls and not a sequel. Look that one up. There's actually a documentary about it called The Worst Movie of All Time, which is pretty phenomenal. So, and it mentions The Room as well.
We got a lot of folks chatting, so I'm going to try and bang through the rest of these. We may even cut a few short. So
we need to start a second podcast that's about cult classics.
So, what? Oh yeah. What? We should have you on for that one.
Collaboration podcast. We got it.
Yeah. Best band that you would either want to see or have seen, but live.
Greatest live band ever, Pantera, without a doubt, man.
That was very fast.
Wow. Way up here, everybody else is down here.
I love it. Good answer. So we are going rapid, so I'm going to move through this one. This is my last one. This will be easy. On the sun shirt, the fishing sun shirt, the long sleeve classic. Do you like hood or no hood?
Oh, hood. I'm in the process of replacing all my hoods with hoods. Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
I love it.
I've got a beard, and these things get annoying.
Terrible.
You're rocking one of these bad boys. So the hood is excellent for me, man. It's
all right.
I started using it. I mean, that's like a this week thing. That's funny that you asked that question because I just was like, all right, I got to get a couple with hoods. Ordered them, got them in. I've been fishing with them all week, and they're
I've been like reading your mind. I hit you on the loop knot and the hooded shirts. Like, what more do you want?
That's crazy. I'm seeing a whole lot of hood in chat here, my friend.
Okay, well, all the knot hoods are way up there. Okay, so
no. There's
no
Chaz.
Can't do that. All right, Chaz. I think we are ready. I think we can roll the giveaway. Can we hit it? Can we hit the people? Just won like 3 weeks ago.
No, did he?
Yeah,
it must be some mistake. That's not my name.
Yeah, that's Justin Royal, the winner. Yeah.
Congratulations, dude.
All right.
Angel, hit us up in the chat. Say what's up. I know you're here.
You already know the gig. We need your type your email into chat. No one will be able to see it. We will keep that hidden. Jeff will keep his fingers off the keyboard, and then we will reach out to you and make sure we get you that $25 gift card to Monster Bass. Good for anything that is not the subscription. So that's baits, hats, t-shirts, you name it, all the stuff that's out there. And Jeff, we probably
says, woohoo, that's awesome. Give us your email again, my friend.
There it is. Oh,
he did it.
Nope,
it's not. He said something else that's inappropriate.
Don't say that. Say your email this time.
Wait, is that your email?
There he is. All right, so we are
have the email.
Justin, we've done our giveaway. We had you on the show. We got to talk nostalgia. We got to talk about shredding. We got to see your pet flock of deer, which was outstanding.
What a trip we've been on together.
Where can people go buy the ticket to take the ride, man?
Hey, buy the ticket, take the ride. Justin Royal on YouTube. That's the best way to keep up with me. And also, I post constant updates over there on the gram at the Justin Royal. Thank you guys for having me on. This was fun. Maybe we can do it again in the future, but I appreciate you guys letting me be a part of this podcast, man. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much for your time. And we'll hit you up about our collaboration podcast in which we will talk about 80s and 90s cartoons as well as cult classics.
Just cut it off at 04 will be good.
04 Beyond doesn't exist.
almost got him on the spittle.
No, don't talk about stuff like that.
Just rude to bring it up.
Blasphemy.
You just ruined everything.
You didn't have to tell me. I already knew.
All right, I think we can cut the podcast now. We've officially hit rock bottom. Let's get out.
Rock bottom. All right, Justin. So thank you so much for your time tonight, man. All right, you guys. Thanks for spending another Thursday with us. We'll be back again next Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Tuesday. Oh my gosh. When's the week that we're that's not next week. It's the week after we're off on Thursday. Yeah, stay tuned. We'll let you know. So we'll be live again next Tuesday for our members. So if you're Chartreuse or Snorlax, be here Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Thursday, we'll be back 8 p.m. Eastern. We're just going to be hammering podcasts that week, I guess. The following week, we will be shooting a whole bunch of footage, so we will not be available, but we're going to upload a pre-recorded episode for you guys then. So next week, we're live twice. Join the membership if you want to be on the Tuesday one, and then join us Thursday for everybody else who's still also awesome. We appreciate you guys. Like, subscribe, follow at all the places. Go check out Justin Royal on his channel and all of the places as well. And we love you, and we'll see you next week. Chaz, take us out of here, my friend.
Took a swing at a wrecking ball and I prayed for my downfall, and I found a way to reconcile, 'cause in my heart it's not worthwhile. It's a bloody battlefield where some go down, others heal. In the end it's all the same. All you can do is play the game. Oh, do we say goodbye? Refuse to question why. I'm sad to say I'm sorry, so lie. Pretend that you're okay. Swear that you will stay. Keep trying for one day. I'm sick of all these lies. Don't care if I capsize. There's nothing left for me to hide. Don't wanna live a lie. Too many lows, too many highs. Too many things to criticize. And so I leave it all behind. Don't wanna live a lie. Life kept spitting at my feet and forced me down a dead-end street, when all I had went up in flames, burning only dark remains. I cover up every part of my skin, oh, 'cause I don't like the person within, oh. I know I'm the one to blame. All I can do is take the shame, oh. Do we say goodbye? Refuse to question why. I'm too sad to say I'm sorry, so lie and pretend that you're okay. Swear that you will stay. Keep trying for one day.